Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this podcast. It's been a while since we've made our last video. I believe it was the Champions Trophy final between India and New Zealand, with India winning that match. However, we're here to preview. Sorry about the light. We're here to preview a huge game in Australia, the domestic red ball competition known as the Sheffield Shield final. It's similar to a test match. It's 5 days. Regular season of the Sheffield Shield is not 5 days. It's a 4-day competition, but the final is 5 days. And we have two states battling out in South Australia, and Queensland will be hosted at Karen Rolton Oval in Adelaide. Sadly, not Adelaide Oval. I'm going to get a little bit more into that. I'm going to try to keep my cool about that. The reason why it is not at Adelaide Oval, which is a disgrace and a total shame. So how did we get here? Well, the Sheffield Shield is started all the way back in October, if you can believe that. And then it takes 2 months off because of the Big Bash. So there's no Sheffield. So it's from October to December or early December. Sheffield Shield starts its first 4 rounds. Then the Big Bash starts. Then no Shield during the Big Bash. Big Bash finishes and the Shield recommences. The season resumes with another 4 games. So it's a home and away season. It's not quite like a knockout. Everybody will play the exact same matches. 2 best teams will go to the final. There's a point system. There's a table system. There's bonus points. There's everything. And for this year, South Australia finished first. They get to host a home state, so a home final in their own state. And Queensland finished second on the ladder. Now, how did we do this? I know I'm not showing myself right now, but stay calm. I am here. So 10 matches have been played. First 5 at the start of the season, next 5 after the Big Bash. And this is the point system. South Australia finished on top of the Sheffield Shield ladder with only 1 loss on 55 points. Queensland finished on 39 points with 3 wins and 3 losses. Victoria came in third on 39 points. New South Wales 36 points. Tasmania 35, and WA last on 35 as well. Now, what led us to this point? Well, as I just said, South Australia finished first. They get to host a home final in their state. Doesn't have to actually be at Adelaide. Yeah, they can have it when they damn wanted. But of course they're going to have it in Adelaide. It's been 30 years since South Australia, my state, has won a Sheffield Shield competition. 30 years. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's not even at Adelaide Oval. Can you believe that? The home venue is Adelaide Oval. First time in 30 years. And it's not at Adelaide Oval. It's on the opposite side of the city at Carlton Rolton Oval, near, if you are watching this from Adelaide, it is near the hospital. I believe the new New Adelaide Hospital, I believe. It's on a ground with some cricket pitches. It is used mainly for women's matches. Redbacks do play there sometimes during the season. I think they played a couple of games. They played against Victoria way back early in the season. And so it's not a neutral ground. They do play games there, but mainly at Adelaide Oval. The big news coming into this final is the state of Usman Khawaja. Will he play? Will he not? If you're new to this channel, if you're new to Sheffield Shield cricket, there's been a big story around Usman Khawaja and his availability in this team. Usman Khawaja did not play the last round of the Sheffield Shield, which is against South Australia, mind you. Queensland drew that match. Sorry, having bugs. Live YouTube. Apologise for that. So South Australia and Queensland played in the last round of the Sheffield Shield. Queensland got a draw. That was enough to qualify them. Usman Khawaja did not play in that game. However, Usman Khawaja played a game week before against Tasmania and scored a fantastic 100. He went to the Formula One Grand Prix. He's came back to the final. There's been arguments with the Queensland coaches. They've criticised Usman Khawaja for not being available for Shield matches, which he's required. If you do not know, state contracts are pretty much like cricket, pretty much like country contracts. If you are required to play, you must play, or your contract will be whipped up. So the last game of the Shield, Khawaja did not play. As I said, he went to Formula One, which was signed off. That was fine. Having said that, they did want him to return in the final. Now, there was a story going around that there was mental fatigue. Ian Healy, Australian legend, Queensland legend, criticised Usman Khawaja for not being available for that final. Queensland coaches got involved. Usman Khawaja made a press conference a couple of days after Queensland coaches Ian Healy criticised him. Usman Khawaja said that Queensland cricket wasn't telling the truth. They actually did know he was injured, and he was very upset that it didn't stay in-house and it leaked to the media. Or Queensland, didn't leak. Queensland cricket, said that to the media deliberately. So Usman Khawaja was very disappointed. He held a press conference of his own in that saying, well, I'm injured, my hamstring. I believe there's a hamstring issue. And he is saying that Cricket Australia knew, some Institute of Sport knew, he was on the injury list. They knew about his hamstring. Queensland Cricket are denying that there was even a hamstring issue problem. And they have not apologised to Usman Khawaja. They have said to Usman Khawaja that, you are a contracted player. You must play for Queensland. Personally, if he doesn't play for Queensland, that helps out South Australia because he's a good player. Despite his form against Jasprit Bumrah in the BGT, he has made that 200 against Sri Lanka. He came back to play one game in the Sheffield Shield against Tasmania. He scored 100 in that game against Bo Webster, who recently picked up a 5-wicket haul in his last game for the season. So he was in terrific form, Usman Khawaja, with the bat. Having said that, if there is no Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne will play for Queensland. He is their captain. He will captain the side on Wednesday. For South Australian news, Alex Carey played in the last game of the Sheffield Shield. He is back. He will captain the side. Travis Head, unfortunately, is not available, sadly, for some T20 tournament that I don't care about, really. So, unfortunately, Travis Head won't be available because he is South Australian. So, Alex Carey will be in that team. Marnus Labuschagne will be in that team. Michael Neser will be in that team as well. He will play. This official squad has not been announced yet. With cricket, it's very hard to make these videos when a squad has been made because literally they make it on the day of the actual game. So it's very hard. So we are presuming, but what I can say that Labuschagne is confirmed. Alex Carey is confirmed. Usman Khawaja, we're not sure. He is available. He said he is available, but now it's up to Queensland Cricket if they want to play him. But we'll give some of the players' names. We'll start with South Australia. I know I've disappeared again. Stay with me. We're going to do a bit of audio here. So the openers, Conor McInerney, Henry Hutton. Henry Hutton's been in terrific form. This Sheffield Shield season has made 400s, I believe. Has made a couple of low scores, a couple of ducks, which probably, he's too inconsistent. He either makes really big scores, really small scores. Hence why Jake Retherall was one of the openers of the season. Conor McInerney, he's in terrific form. He made 142 just last week against Queensland. We all know Nathan McSweeney played a couple of games in the Test side. He also represents South Australia. He is back. He'll be playing in that final. Jason Sangha, who came from New South Wales, he's in great form actually. He's been, I think, probably our best player. that's played all season long. Alex Carey, his form in this competition has been unreal. He's only played 6 innings, but he's averaging over 80 with the bat. Just absolutely ridiculous. Scored 100 last week. In terrific form, Alex Carey had the summer of his life back in Sri Lanka. So he'll be the captain. He'll keep Jake Lehman, good old Jakey. Hot and cold can be really bad, sometimes horrendous, can be really good. Made a fantastic 100 against Victoria a couple of weeks ago, made 100 last week. Don't know what we're going to get with Jake Lehman. Yes, he is the son of Darren Lehman, but we don't know what we're going to get with Jake Lehman. Ben Menenti, he's a lower middle slogger, can bowl a little bit of spin. Mick Andrew's been very prolific last couple of years with the ball. Lloyd Pope's our spinner. Again, Lloyd Pope can be very hot and cold. Does have a good record at Carlton Rotten Oval and Adelaide Oval, not so much away. We've got Henry Thornton, predominantly Big Bash player, but has played a lot of Shield matches this season. Jordan Buckingham, I really like Jordan Buckingham. Very good bowler. Fantastic season. Liam Scott. Now, Liam Scott will be a name you might be familiar with next 2 years. Liam Scott's a fantastic all-rounder. He played in the One Day Cup final for South Australia at Adelaide Oval. Picked up a couple of wickets, made a 50-odd. He's a one to watch possibly for the World Cup in 2027, possibly as an all-rounder. So he's one to watch as well. And Doggett, he's been around for forever. He's been injured. He was injured in the last match, did not play. Hopefully we bring him back. As I said, the squad has not been confirmed, so we can't say or deny any players. But that is the Sheffield, the South Australia Sheffield Shield team. Spencer Johnson's also in the Sheffield Shield squad, but he will not be picked. He's playing in the IPL, so he won't be available for that squad. Now we go to Queensland. Queensland have got stars everywhere: bowling, batting, keeping, you name it. Matt Renshaw. Matt Renshaw has played for Australia, gone off the cliff a little bit. It was very sad to see his decline because he was a really good player. Has probably made a couple of hundreds the last few years, but has never been consistent, never been back to his form that he was as a Test player. But he's in the squad. There are other opener, Lachlan Hearn, a young player that's came from the domestic league of Queensland. Not much. I don't know much about him. What I do know is when he did play in the last game for South Australia, he did make a duck. Marnus Labuschagne, we all know him. He's been horribly out of form. He can't actually make runs in the Sheffield season either. He's been struggling for form. Really a flat deck. I just mentioned a lot of players made hundreds last week for Queensland and South Australia. It was a very, very, very flat road. Fortunately, Marnus didn't do well on that road either. With the bat, with the ball, he was actually pretty good. He was the leading wicket. Can you believe that? Marnus Labuschagne was the leading wicket taker for Queensland last week. Altogether, the whole match. Can you believe that? I can't believe I just said that. Leading wicket taker for Queensland in an attack where you have Michael Neser and Swepson. Wow, okay. Jack Clayton, another player that's from the domestic league. He's been around for a long time. He's played over 30 matches, more than capable. Ben McDermott, we all know Ben McDermott in the Big Bash, very powerful hitter. Not as prolific in the Sheffield Shield game compared to Big Bash, but he's there as a middle order player. Jimmy Pearson, I think I rate Jimmy Pearson a lot. I thought he would be playing for Australia. Fortunately, you got a keeper called Alex Carey keeping him out, along with Josh Ingles keeping him out. But Jimmy Pearson's been in terrific form. He's made 100 the last week. A great keeper as well, very good keeper. So he's available. With the all-rounders, Michael Neser, more than capable with the bat, made a 60-odd, and very capable with the ball. He was on a flat road last week. Didn't really go for him, but on his day, he can be really good. Jack Milderith, if you did not know him, he's another lower order player, from the Big Bash. He scored 100 last week. You're saying, geez, everyone scored 100 last week except for Manus Labuschagne, which is absolutely true. There was over 1,000 runs scored last week on that pitch. So the pitch that they used was at Carlton Rotten Oval, which will be the final. They'll use the pitch on the left or the right, however you want to see it, of that pitch they used last week. So hopefully we don't see that. I don't really want to see a situation where it's a draw and we have to rely on other things. I'd want a clear-cut winner. I'd rather see a green top. We've been going with green tops all the Sheffield Shield season. I'd like to see green top back our attack. I think our attack is the best in the league. But that's up to the curators. So Jack Mildreth made 100. The bowlers, Mark Steketee, I rate him. He's a very good domestic bowler, very, very good. Not as quick as he used to be, but could easily play for Australia. Unfortunately, you've got a player called Mitchell Stark that's stopping that. Steketee back in the day did bowl 140 plus, a little bit slower now as he's got on, but he's more than capable. Mitch Swepson, we all know him, played for Australia. Not really getting the wickets he is with green tops in domestic Australia, but he's there. And a young player, very young player, Callum Vildler, 19 years of age, represented Australia in the World Cup. Very quick, 140 plus K player at 19. That's very quick. He did okay last week. Picked up a wicket. Pitch probably didn't suit him. And of course, last but not least, Osman Karaja. Again, we don't know what he's going to do. If he'll play, if he won't play. But they're the squads. Apologise if I missed someone. If Osman Karaja does come in, it's probably most likely either Lachlan Hearn will be dropped, as Osman Karaja is an opener, and Lachlan Hearn is filling that spot. No problems to Australia. No Travis Head. Alex Carey played in the last game. I think they'll be unchanged. In my opinion, I think the squad that was played last week is going to be very similar. Dogger injury, not sure if he'll be back. Liam Scott's also got injured in that last match. He may be back. It's going to be a difficult thing, because if you do bring him back, that means you're going to have to drop someone of the bowlers, and the bowlers are the biggest weapon for South Australia. So anyway, the Sheffield Shield final is 5 days. It will start on Wednesday. The reason why it is not at Adelaide Oval, which upsets me, is because of the AFL, the Australian Football League. If you're watching outside of Australia, you probably don't know what I'm on about. Australian Football League has nothing to do with soccer. It is an exclusive sport. So Australia is played in other countries, actually, but it's mainly known for an Australian Aussie sport. Look it up on YouTube, AFL, see some highlights. So the problem is the AFL has started, which is Australia's number one winter sport, cricket in the summer, AFL in the winter. We are in March. Now, normally the AFL season does not start this early. Starts actually much later, late March. But they keep moving the season forward for more games. More games mean more money. More money means more broadcasts are happy. And the players are happy because they get more money from the broadcasts and TV rights. So the problem is there are two teams in South Australia, two AFL teams in South Australia, the Adelaide Crows and Port Adelaide Football Club. The Sheffield Shield will kind of sort of collide with the Adelaide Crows game against North Melbourne. So the Shield this was the proposal. The Shield would be played on Monday, which would be tomorrow. Or Monday, wherever you're watching this from. Could be tomorrow, could be now, could be today. 11:45, so 15 minutes time today. should be played on a Monday. So the proposal was it was going to play on a Monday, the Shield final, Monday right through to Friday. And then after the Sheffield Shield final, they will transform the Oval back to an AFL. So yesterday or today, wherever you're watching again, Port Adelaide played Richmond. Port Adelaide is the Adelaide team that play at Adelaide Oval. Soon as that game was finished, the Adelaide Oval transformation would be turning a footy ground into a cricket ground, which was no problem. The curator said there is absolutely, I can't remember his name, do apologise, but he's one of the best curators in the world. He said, no problem, we can get that going. They'll start, which would have been today, and ready tomorrow. Then what would happen is after the final on a Friday, if it went 5 days, doesn't have to go 5 days, they would start transformation as soon as that game would finish, and the Adelaide Crows will play on a Saturday, so a one-day turnaround. The curator said, yep, that can happen, that can go ahead. We will transform that ground to make player safety 100% safe. That's the key word, player safety. Because you would have to get out, because the Adelaide Oval pitch is a drop-in, so you would have to dig a hole in the ground, put it in, dig it back out, cover it with dirt and with grass. And AFL, if you're new to AFL is a heavily contact sport. It's got nothing but contact in it. Think of it as like gridiron, rugby. That's how, as far as contact goes. So it's played all around the oval. So there's nowhere, players are going to say, oh, we don't want to go on the centre of the oval because of the cricket pitch. No, that you have to. But the curators have said that is okay, we can get that done. AFL, the company, the AFL, have said, you know what, I want a second opinion by a curator from the MCG. Can you believe that? MCG, where Victoria are not even in the final. It's not even in Victoria. It's not even at the MCG. And a curator, MCG's curator, who is known for the world's flattest decks in the world, said, nah, it can't be done. AFL said, well, gee, we've got to go by our own curator who has nothing to do with Adelaide Oval. No, sorry, you cannot have Shield at the Adelaide Oval because player safety is a problem, because we've spoken to our curators who make the world's flattest pitch, and not just Australia, but the world. Royal Pindi in Pakistan, these are, even these days, are turning pitches, are minefields, like we saw against England. No, we're going to make an MCG pitch flat deck. No, it can't be done. Can't be done. AFL said, you know what? Okay, then we'll take your advice, because why not, even though you're not a curator of Adelaide Oval. And they've told the SACA, the South Australian Cricket Association, that you cannot have a Shield final at Adelaide Oval, and I am gutted. Absolute gutted. I'm not going to turn this into a rage where I swear, carry on. But it is pathetic by the AFL. Absolute pathetic. By Andrew Dillon, Laura Kane. They are the CEOs of that organisation, and they should, hang their heads in shame for what they've done. So day one was projected to be 25,000 at Adelaide Oval. They were saying it's going to be 25,000 there, to probably 500 at Carlton Oval, because it's not Adelaide Oval. There's one grandstand. They're going to build temporary stands to get people to the game, to get them interest, but it's a dead oval, with all due respect. Not to put down the Redback women, or the BBL women's team, but it is a dead oval. It is terrible. So, but we have to work with it. It is what it is. I'm not happy. No one in South Australia is happy. It's been a big story. But Sheffield Shield final would be at Karen Rolton Oval on Wednesday through to Sunday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days if need be. No reserve date. So if it's a draw, it will say a draw. So on that, if it is a draw, it will go by bonus points in first inning. So hypothetically, let's say Queensland make 280, in the first inning. South Australia make 180. Queensland will get 2 bonus points. South Australia will get 1 bonus point. For the batting, the bowling is a bit different. So South Australia, if they bowled out Queensland, in a certain amount of overs before they reach a ton, that's a bonus point. So the point is, if it is a draw throughout the 5 days, we will go by bonus points. First innings only. Second innings does not matter. There's no bonus points in the second innings. We're going by first points. First innings bonus points. Bowling and batting. There's no fielding, just batting and bowling. So if Queensland have more bonus points in the first innings and it's a draw, Queensland will win the Shield. Which I hope not. Which I hope there's a result. But that's the way it is. So starts on Wednesday. A win. 30 years since South Australia have won it. And I hope, I'm being biased here. Be professional. Respect both teams. But I am a South Australian. And I hope our boys can get it done on Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, whatever day it takes. Win that title, bring that title home. We've already won the One Day Cup. I went to that game at Adelaide Oval in front of 8,000 people. It was one of the best white ball games I've ever been to. And yes, there is a world news exclusive there. Lucas does go to white ball games. I went to my white ball domestic One Day Cup and we won, and it was an absolute fantastic experience. The best white ball game I've ever been to. That was at Adelaide Oval. Pity it's not Adelaide Oval, the Shield final. I think it's disgraceful. But we'll see how many turn up. I just hope there's a good crowd, and I just hope the stands are up to world class, because Adelaide Oval is world class. You're going to play a premium final, and the Sheffield Shield is Cricket Australia's premier competition. You better have premier venue. Carlton Rotten Oval is not a premier venue. I can think of numerous grounds in Adelaide that are better than Carlton Rotten Oval. Glenelg Oval, for one. A great cricket oval. That is near the beach, the city beach. 15 minutes from Adelaide if you're catching a tram. A fantastic facility. I think Woodville has a fantastic ground. Probably can't have the Shield there because there's probably no facilities, but the oval itself is very good. Sturt's Cricket Oval is fantastic. So there were numerous places where you could have had this. Hell, you can have it at Highmarsh Stadium. There's probably some A-League fans that probably disagree with that, but I think Highmarsh Stadium would have been a better facility than Carlton Rotten Oval. But anyway, this is today's video. Sheffield Shield starts on Wednesday, and to my boys, South Australians, led by Alex Carey, Nathan McSweeney, Henry Hunt, I can name them all. Yes, even you, Lloyd Pope and Jake Lehman. Bring this title home, boys. Just please bring it home. 30 years, and don't let no run Labuschagne take our title. So bring it home, boys, and let's have a great final.